Voters will find a near touchless way to cast their ballot with early voting now beginning. Hello, everybody. I'm Heather Hayes.
And I'm Steve Eager. Thank you for watching. Early voting is underway in Texas for the May runoff races. Yeah, we know we're in June. They were pushed back by the pandemic. This time around, polling places have a slightly different look and feel. Elections administrators say they are doing all they can to assure voters it's safe to come out and vote. Fox 4's Sean Rabb is at an early voting location to show us the added precaution. Sean.
Hey, Steve, outside the City Lake location here in Mesquite tonight. And, you know, the first election since the pandemic broke across our country. But, you know, for election administrators, they're really kind of glad because it gives them a chance to see if the plans they put in place will work to keep voters safe before the big turnout event in November.
This is a dry run and getting ready for November.
Cleaning up the stylus here to make sure they're sanitized. And
disinfected and protected. Greeting voters, going to polls early, casting ballots in a runoff postponed by coronavirus. It's given election administrators a practice run up to November's general election.
We're providing a touch-free atmosphere for the voter. They can bring their own stylus in, or we can give them a sterilized stylus so they can sign their name on the poll book and also use that same stylus to go to the voting booth to cast their ballot.
The challenges, not just environmental hygiene, but hiring employees to work the polls.
Those that had those type of underlying health issues were afraid and they did not want to work, and so we did have to replace them.
For James Barlow, a good experience.
You have your mask on, I have my gloves on. He was very helpful, showed me everything, voted, it was over.
While James Barlow wore a mask, the state not making masks mandatory.
The governor and the Secretary of State says that we can't prevent people from voting because they don't have a mask, but we strongly recommend it.
Plus, the quandary of voting by mail, allowed for people over 65, out of town, or in prison but not convicted of a felony, and with disabilities. The Texas Supreme Court, though, has said fear of contracting COVID-19 is not a qualified reason to vote by mail. But there's no way election officials can know someone's disability. I asked the Texas Attorney General, Ken Paxton, about that.
The legislature has left it up to people to determine if they satisfy the definition of disability, and we've trusted people in Texas, and certainly there's room for fraud. Now, if we find out that somebody voted and they weren't disabled, I mean that could be punishable with fines and potential jail time.
Mail in person. Election administrators watching how it goes, casting ballots in a COVID-19 world.
This election is going to give us some lessons learned in preparation for November.
Now, one of the things you need to know about this runoff election, normally the early voting period would be 5 days. It's been extended by 5 days because, well, there are fewer voting machines in each location, so it gives people more time to vote early so they won't be herding in together on Election Day, which is, by the way, July 14th for this runoff. But Tony Pippins-Poole tells me that in November, she envisions having what she calls, voting mega centers. Think hotel ballrooms or convention centers, the Richardson Convention Center, places like that, so they can have 50+ machines with social distancing to allow more people an opportunity to vote in what is going to be a huge, no doubt, turnout this time around.